Hello everyone, this is Rig. This video is a comprehensive analysis for competitive exams about the Rajputs. We will dive deep into the fascinating history of the Rajputs in this detailed video tailored for UPSC aspirants and other competitive exam enthusiasts. The video covers origin of the Rajputs, their contributions, administration, culture, and famous Rajput warriors. This video is a treasure trove of knowledge for students and history enthusiasts designed to enhance the preparation for competitive exams like the UPSC, SSC, state PCS, and more. So please enjoy this video and collect all the data that you can. Introduction to the Rajputs. The Rajputs' origins are a matter of great controversy, with varied theories and scant direct evidence. They are considered descendants of Vedic Kshatriyas, stressing lineage from the sun, Suryavanshi, or the moon, Chandravanshi. Some Rajputs claim descent through the Agnikula theory, which narrates their emergence from a sacrificial fire on Mount Abu. The term Rajput is a corrupted form of Rajputra found in texts like the Puranas and Harshacharita by Banavatta. James Todd suggested that Rajputs descended from the foreign tribes like the Shakas, Hunas, Kushanas, and Gujars who settled in India and merged into the Hindu society. They formed a warlike class integrating foreign and Indian traditions. Rajputs aligned themselves with Hinduism, adopting Brahmanical rituals and re establishing their identity as Kshatriyas. Origins and controversies. Determining the origin of Rajputs is complex due to contradictory theories and lofty claims. James Todd linked them to invaders like the Shakas, Hunas, and Kushanas, who intermarried with Indian women. European scholars like William Brooke suggest Rajputs rose from post Kushana invasion around 480 CE. They integrated into Hindu society, adapting Brahmanical practices to gain legitimacy. Rajputs claimed genealogies tied to the Kshatriyas of the Vedic times, supported by Puranic references. Other theories state that Rajputs were indigenous tribes elevated through Hindu rituals like the Ashwamedha Yagya. Pushwamitra Sunga's example reinforced their Kshatriya identity during the Mauryan decline. Inscriptions and epigraphic records trace Rajput families back to 9th and 10th centuries, aligning with Suryavanshi and Chandravanshi's traditions. Etymology of the term Rajput. The word Rajput derives from Rajaputra, meaning scion of royal blood in Sanskrit. It referred to rulers, warriors, and feudal chiefs mentioned in texts like the Puranas and Harshacharita. In Rajasthan, the term was applied to illegitimate sons of Kshatriya chiefs or feudal lords, Jaigirdar. Local traditions use the term for a distinct warrior class formed after integrating with foreign tribes. Rajputs utilized the title to assert dominance and reinforce genealogical legitimacy. Scholars argue the term gained prominence during the medieval period, distinguishing Rajput rulers from other Kshatriyas. It also appeared in inscriptions detailing their lineage from the sun, Suryavanshi, and moon, Chandravanshi. Foreign origin theory. This theory links the Rajput to foreign tribes like Hunas, Shakas, Kushanas who invaded India. These tribes settled in India post Gupta period and were absorbed into Hindu society through intermarriage. William Brooks' research connects the Gujjara tribe, which adopted Hinduism, to later Rajput families. Foreign invaders, including the White Hunas who attacked the Gupta Empire around 480 CE, formed the basis of Rajput clans. Rajputs were integrated into Hindu society by adopting rituals and practices like the Ashwamedha sacrifice. Their military skills, loyalty, and marital traditions made them prominent rulers during the medieval India. Scholars critique the foreign origin theory, emphasizing local genealogies and cultural assimilation. Agnikula theory. The Agnikula theory narrates that Rajputs emerged from a sacred fire, Agni Kunda, on Mount Abu. It identifies four clans: Chauhans, Solankis, Pratiharas, and Paramaras. The legend found in Prithviraj Raso by Chand Bardoi highlights divine intervention in creating Rajput warriors. The ritual aimed to purify and disintegrate foreign tribes into the Kshatriya fold. Brahmanical myth reinforced the social status of Rajputs as a martial class. Parashuram, an incarnation of Vishnu, is linked to this myth, emphasizing divine origin. Scholars like Dr. B. R. Bhandarkar argue the theory symbolizes cultural assimilation rather than historical fact. Integration into Hindu society. Rajputs assimilated foreign invaders into the Hindu society through strategic intermarriages and rituals. Practices like the Ashwamedha Yagya symbolize their acceptance within the Brahmanical traditions. Pushwamitra Shunga's reign, 2nd century BC, reinforced Kshatriya customs after the decline of the Mauryas. Epigraphic evidence from 9th and 10th centuries associates Rajput rulers with Suryavanshi and Chandravanshi clans. Foreign clans were purified through the Hindu rites, becoming part of the Kshatriya hierarchy. Rajput leaders adapted Hindu faith and practices to legitimize their rule. Historical references. The Puranas mentioned Rajput genealogies tracing descent to the Vedic Kshatriyas. Inscriptions from 9th and 10th centuries connect Rajput clans to Suryavanshi and Chandravanshi origins. Rulers of Bikaner, Mewar, and Jaipur claimed lineage from these dynasties. Chand Bardoi's Prithviraj Raso glorifies Rajput heroics and their divine origins. The Hathi Gumpha inscription references Kshatriyas linked to Pushpamitra Shunga. These records solidified Rajput identity and reinforced their claims of superiority. Cultural identity. Rajputs are felt ideals of honor, loyalty, and bravery, central to their Kshatriya identity. They adhered to strict code of chivalry, valuing hospitality and protecting their clan's honor. Practices like the Khargvanda marked the initiation of young boys into warriorhood. Rajputs' idealized heroes from the Ramayana and Mahabharata, modeling their behavior on Ram and Arjun. Even during war, they demonstrated generosity towards their enemies. Loyalty to their chiefs and clans was paramount, often leading to internal feuds but ensuring unity during external threats. Military traditions. Rajput clans were trained in archery, swordsmanship, and horse riding from adolescence. The Ashwamedha Yagya symbolized their dominance and territorial expansion. Rajputs participated in constant warfare to protect their kingdoms from invaders. Traditions like Jauhar and Shaka were practiced to preserve their honor. Clan rivalries often weakened their political strength but reinforced their martial tradition. Rajput resistance to foreign invaders like Mahmud of Ghazni is well documented in Indian history. Pushpamitra Shunga's example. Pushpamitra Shunga, a prominent Kshatriya ruler, performed the Ashwamedha Yagya to assert his dominance. His reign marked the revival of Vedic rituals and Kshatriya traditions after the Mauryas. The Hathigumpha inscription references similar Kshatriya rulers in his era. Pushpamitra's actions reflected the continuity of Rajput warrior values. His example is often cited in discussions about Rajput origins and Kshatriya customs. Genealogical records. Genealogies link Rajput clans to Sun, Surya Vamsha, and Moon, Chandra Vamsha dynasties. Inscriptions from Jaisalmer and Kutch highlight their descent from mythological figures. These genealogies played a crucial role in legitimizing Rajput rule. The Mahabharata and Ramayana served as foundational texts for Rajput ancestry claims. Rajputs often relied on these records to assert their superiority over rival clans. Significance of the Agnikula theory. The Agnikula theory emphasizes Rajputs' divine origin, linking them to a sacred fire, Agnikunda, on Mount Abu. Four principal clans Chauhans, Solankis, Pratiharas, and Paramaras are believed to have emerged from this fire. This narrative, mentioned in Prithviraj Raso by Chand Bardoi, showcases the Brahmanical tradition of integrating tribes. The Agnikula ritual served as a symbolic purification, granting Rajputs the Kshatriya status in the caste hierarchy. Parashuram, a Vishnu avatar, is said to have initiated this ritual to create warriors. Scholars like V. A. Smith view the theory as a blend of mythology and political necessity for legitimizing Rajput clans. This myth highlighted Rajput valor and reinforced their status as protectors of dharma, righteousness. William Brooke's contributions. William Brooke, a European scholar, proposed that Rajputs originated from foreign tribes like Shakas, Hunas, and Kushanas. He argued that these tribes integrated into Indian society post Kushana invasions. Brooke emphasized the role of Gujjara tribes in creation of later Rajput clans, citing their adoption of Hindu customs. He noted that Rajputs embraced Brahmanical practices and redefined themselves as protectors of Hindu traditions. This theory suggested Rajput clans emerged as a result of cultural synthesis between invaders and indigenous Kshatriyas. Brooks' views were widely accepted by European historians but critiqued for their lack of local context. Dr. V. A. Smith's views. Dr. V. A. Smith described Rajputs as a mixed race combining indigenous Kshatriyas and foreign elements. He argued that Rajputs became a distinct occupational group focusing on governance and warfare. Smith highlighted the influence of Hunas, Shakas, and Kushanas in reshaping Rajput clans. According to him, the Rajputs adopted Hindu rituals, including temple building and sacrifices, to solidify their identity. Smith criticized the Agnikula theory as a symbolic attempt to legitimize Rajput clans. He noted that Rajput genealogies often blended mythology with historical claims to assert superiority. Modern scholars appreciate Smith's work but critique his reliance on foreign origin theories. Rajput military practices. Warfare was central to Rajput identity, with rigorous training in archery, swordsmanship, and horse riding. Rituals like the Khargvandha, binding of the sword, initiated boys into martial traditions. Rajputs participated in Ashwamedha yajnas to establish dominance over territories. They resisted invaders such as Mahmud of Ghazni and Muhammad Ghori, defending their forts and kingdoms. Clan loyalty ensured cohesion during battles but also led to internal feuds. Practices like Jauhar, mass self immolation, and Shaka, last stand in battle, symbolize their commitment to honor. Rajput clans often fought over resources and political control, weakening their collective strength against larger empires. Conclusion. Rajputs emerged as a prominent martial caste during the medieval India, blending Vedic foreign and local traditions. They trace their ancestry to Kshatriyas, foreign tribes, and mythical origins like the Agnikula fire ritual. Rajput contributions to governance, warfare, and Hindu culture solidified their position in Indian history. Genealogies, inscriptions, and literary works reinforce their claims of high status and divine lineage. Despite internal disputes, Rajputs maintained a strong cultural identity, defending dharma and their territories. The legacy of the Rajputs endures in Rajasthan, where their forts, rituals, and traditions continue to inspire. Their story reflects resilience, valor, and ability to adapt to changing socio-political landscapes. Rajput government structure. The Rajput government was feudal, with numerous kingdoms in northern India. Each kingdom was divided into estates or jaigirs led by jaigirdars. Jaigirdars often belonged to the same family as Rajput chiefs. Security and strength of the state depended on these Jaigirdars. Jaigirdars provided military service and payments to the king. Governance depended on the king's personality. Weak kings led to paralysis. Individualism fostered by this system hindered unity. Feuds were common feature due to the fragmented system. Rajput bureaucracy. Literature references a structured bureaucracy during the Rajput period. The term Kayastha was used for officials in inscriptions. Officials were mainly Brahmanas who held administrative positions. Bureaucracy was systematic but heavily reliant on the ruler's abilities. The central government's changes rarely affected village life. Local councils or panchayats managed village level governance. Panchayats collected revenue and administered justice. Village leaders and patwaris submitted revenues to the treasury. Economic structure. Land revenue was the chief source of income for the state. Taxes on trade and commerce supplemented state income. Jaigirdars contributed additional payments to the state's treasury. Revenue was collected via panchayats, maintaining autonomy in villages. Villagers managed their affairs unaffected by central upheavals. Agricultural surplus supported economic prosperity. Trade and commerce were essential for Rajput economies. Economic contributions bolstered state functions and military campaigns. Caste system and social hierarchy. Society was dominated by Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Brahmanas monopolized knowledge and religious duties. Kshatriyas formed the warrior class and held political power. Vaishyas engaged in trade and commerce, ensuring economic stability. Shudras worked as farmers and artisans in rural communities. Untouchables lived outside villages, marginalized from the mainstream society. The caste system gradually became rigid during the later periods. New subcastes emerged, adding complexity to the social structure. Role of Brahmanas. Brahmanas claimed authority over all spiritual and secular matters. They acted as counselors and ministers to Rajput rulers. Roles included teaching, performing sacrifices, and religious rituals. Capital punishment was not applied to Brahmanas, highlighting privileges. Brahmanas were priests, philosophers, and cultural leaders. Subcaste like Malvi, Telugu, and Gaur Brahmanas emerged. Their influence extended to administrative and religious affairs. Religious practices reinforced Brahmana dominance in the society. Emergence of subcaste. Subcastes evolved based on residence, occupation, and customs. Examples include cowherds, oilmen, carpenters, and weavers. Kaisthas emerged as a clerical caste, handling administration. New subcaste reflected increasing occupational diversity. Regional and occupational identities influenced social stratification. Caste divisions dictated professions, limiting upward mobility. Subcastes among Brahmanas and Vaishyas were particularly prominent. Economic roles often aligned with caste distinctions in Rajput society. Rajput woman. Women enjoyed respect and freedom in early Rajput society. Practices like Swayamvara allowed women to choose their husbands. Education included learning Sanskrit, painting, and other arts. Notable women included Akka Devi, Avanti, Sundari, and Indulekha. Jauhar and Sati symbolized loyalty but reflected harsh societal norms. Early marriage was common, with growing restrictions in later periods. Polygamy was widespread, emphasizing patriarchal traditions. Widowhood was a state of misery, as remarriage was often disallowed. Cultural practices. Birds or charans were important, reciting heroic deeds and clan histories. They managed family records, including births, deaths, and marriages. Music, dance, and drama flourished in the Rajput courts. Festivals and fairs were celebrated across Rajput kingdoms. Recreational activities included chess, hunting, and dice games. Women participated actively in cultural and literary pursuits. Rajput arts showcased creativity and high cultural standards. Cultural vibrancy reflected prosperity and societal values. Architecture and infrastructure. Rajputs excelled in constructing forts, palaces, and temples. Forts like Chittorgarh symbolized architectural brilliance. Irrigation systems included tanks, reservoirs, and canals. Villages were linked through well maintained trade routes. Urban centers developed around trade and administrative hubs. Rajput architecture balanced utility with aesthetic appeal. Agricultural innovations supported economic and population growth. The state supported farmers during droughts and famines. Military structure. Military service was a key duty for Jaigiddas and their retainers. Armies consisted mainly of Kshatriyas trained in warfare. Practices like Jauhar exemplified loyalty in the face of defeat. Feudal military systems fragmented centralized control. Rajput warriors were renowned for their valor and swordsmanship. Frequent conflicts occurred among kingdoms and against invaders. Horses and elephants played a significant role in warfare. Military strength varied based on the ruler's leadership. Economic activities. Trade and commerce were vital, linking Rajput cities to external markets. Key exports included textiles, metals, and agricultural goods. Taxes on commerce significantly contributed to the state revenues. Merchant guilds operated autonomously within urban centers. Markets thrived, facilitating cultural and economic exchanges. Trade routes connected Rajput territories with neighboring regions. Economic prosperity attracted traders from distant lands. Economic policies supported both domestic and international trade. Decline of the Rajput system. Feudalism weakened central governance, leading to instability. Frequent feuds among the Jaigidars undermined unity. Muslim invasions destabilized Rajput power and control. Economic stagnation resulted from rigid caste systems and social immobility. Decline adaptability contributed to their inability to counter invaders. Cultural vibrancy declined as political instability increased. Administrative inefficiencies hampered state functions. Weak rulers accelerated the decline of the Rajput kingdoms. Social issues. Early Rajput society allowed flexibility in caste and marriage. Intercaste marriages influenced societal norms as seen in inscriptions. Later periods saw increased rigidity and emergence of new subcastes. Untouchables were excluded from the mainstream society and lived on the periphery. Societal customs included restrictions on women's roles and rights. Sati and Jauhar reflected patriarchal control over women. Festivals and fairs showcase social unity amidst rigid hierarchies. Social rigidity hindered societal progress and reform. Legacy of the Rajput period. Rajputs left a lasting impact on Indian architecture and culture. Their contributions to art, literature, and governance are significant. Feudal governance influenced their administrative systems. Rajput resistance to invaders remains a symbol of valor. Cultural practices like Swayamvar and Johar are historically notable. Subcaste and social stratification shaped Indian society for centuries. Their architectural marvels stand as a state testament to their legacy. The Rajput period highlights the complexities of medieval Indian history. Patrons of literature. Rajput kings were exceptional patrons of art and literature. Raja Munja of Dhar, himself a poet, inspired literary growth during his reign. Raja Bhoja of Malwa, famous as a scholar, authored multiple works on medicine, astronomy, agriculture, and architecture. Notable texts by Raja Bhoja include Ayurveda Sarvasva, Raja Mriganka, Vaya Vahara Kalpataru, and Yukti Kalpataru. Literature from the Rajput period covered poetry, drama, romance, law, politics, history, and science. Eminent literary figures such as Dhanika, Halayudha, and Dhananjay thrived under Rajput patronage. Rajashekhar and his contributions. Rajashekhar was a court poet of King Mahendrapal of Kannauj. His famous work, Karpura Manjari, is a romantic play written in Prakrit. Rajashekhar's work bridges Sanskrit traditions with local vernaculars, making literature accessible. His writings showcase themes of romance, cultural harmony, and social values. Rajashekhar contributed to dramaturgy, influencing playwrights in later periods. His works demonstrate the intellectual vibrancy of the Rajput courts. Rise of vernacular literature. The Rajput era laid the foundations for vernacular languages like Hindi, Gujarati, and Bengali. Early literary forms in Bengali emerged under Rajput patronage. Hemchandra Suri, a Jain saint, advanced Hindi and Gujarati literature. This period witnessed the growth of regional poetry that incorporated local traditions. Poetry became a medium of expression, blending folk tales with elite literary themes. The cultural diversity of the Rajput courts promoted the preservation of oral traditions. Philosophical and scientific writings. Bhatt Shiraswami wrote koshas, which is dictionaries, like Amara Kosha and Shabda Kalpadruma. Vijnaneshwar's Mitakshara remains a seminal text on Hindu law. Bhagavata's Ashtang Sangraha advanced Ayurvedic medicine. Bhaskaracharya wrote Lilavati, which contributed to mathematics and astronomy. These scholars embodied the Rajput era's intellectual pursuits, enriching Indian knowledge systems. The works bridged practical science and philosophy, leaving a lasting impact on Indian scholarship. Rajput forts, strength and aesthetics. Rajput architecture is exemplified by the massive forts of Chittorgarh, Ranthambore, and Kumbhalgarh. These forts served dual purposes: military defense and cultural symbolism. Jodhpur's fort with copper gates was admired by Babur for its elegance. The palaces at Amber, Jaipur, and Udaipur demonstrate intricate architectural detailing. Rajput fort designs incorporated strategic locations, elaborate carvings, and defensive structures. These structures stand as testaments to the ingenuity of Rajput engineers. Temples in Rajput Bundelkhand. Bundelkhand's Khajuraho temples are iconic examples of Rajput temple architecture. The temples feature intricate carvings depicting gods, celestial beings, and mythical stories. Famous for their shikharas, Khajuraho temples blend symmetry and aesthetic elegance. These temples were dedicated to Hindu gods and Jain Tirthankaras. The temples remain UNESCO World Heritage Sites, symbolizing Indian cultural excellence. The architectural grandeur reflects devotion and artistic mastery. Jain temples of Mount Abu. The Dilwara Jain temples at Mount Abu are celebrated for their marble craftsmanship. The Tejpal and Vimal Shaha temples feature intricately carved ceilings and domes. Every surface of the temples is adorned with sculptures depicting Jain mythology. Themes of spiritual grace and devotion dominate the artistic motifs of these temples. The concentric marble domes symbolize cosmic harmony in Jain philosophy. These temples remain architectural marvels, attracting admiration worldwide. Rajput contributions to art. Rajput art extended to painting, decorative motifs, and textiles, alongside architecture. Frescoes and murals depicted stories from Ramayana and Mahabharata. Rajput miniature paintings flourished, showcasing court life and epics. The use of vibrant colors, natural dyes, and intricate detailing defined Rajput paintings. Art was deeply integrated into palace interiors, enhancing their artistic appeal. The artistic legacy reflects the creativity and cultural sophistication of the Rajput era. Religious and cultural synthesis. Rajput temples often reflected a blend of Hindu and Jain architectural styles. The Ekalinga temple near Udaipur embodies Shaivite traditions with intricate carvings. Osia temples in Rajasthan showcase Jain values and artistic finesse. Religious and cultural harmony is evident in the synthesis of design elements. This cultural integration influenced the Mughal era and other subsequent styles. The Rajput contribution to religious architecture remains unparalleled. Recognition of Rajput art. Rajput forts and temples are widely recognized for their strategic brilliance and aesthetic appeal. Babar described the beauty of Rajput fortresses like Jodhpur with admiration. Khajuraho and Mount Abu temples are now UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Rajput era architectural innovations inspired later developments in Indian art. The legacy of Rajput art continues to influence modern Indian aesthetics. These structures highlight the cultural richness of medieval India. Rajput legacy. Rajput rulers were exemplary patrons of literature, fostering intellectual and artistic growth. Their encouragement of vernacular literature laid the foundation for modern Indian languages. Forts, temples, and palaces reflect their resilience, creativity, and cultural pride. Rajput era art and literature continue to inspire and shape India's cultural heritage. The Rajput legacy is a testament to the era's intellectual and cultural achievements. Their contributions stand as milestones in Indian history. Introduction to the Great Rajputs. The Rajputs, meaning sons of kings, were warrior clans known for their valor, loyalty, and martial skills. They emerged prominently during the 6th century CE and dominated Indian history until the 18th century. Rajput clans like Sisodias of Mewar, Rathors of Marwar, Chauhans of Ajmer, and Paramaras of Malwa ruled strategically important regions. They resisted invasions by Arabs, Muhammad bin Qasim, Turks, Muhammad Mahmud of Ghazni, and Mughals, Babur and Akbar, defending Hindu traditions. Rajput contributions include monumental forts, Chittorgarh, Kumbhalgarh, Ajmer, literature, Prithviraj Raso, and temple architecture. Despite losses in key battles such as the Battle of Tarain in 1192 CE and Khanwa in 1527 CE, they symbolized resistance and resilience. Their cultural contributions extended to art, music, and administration, influencing Indian heritage deeply. Bappa Rawal, founder of the Mewar dynasty in 18th century, he is regarded as a divine warrior and savior of Hindu culture. Bappa Rawal is credited with defeating Arab invaders led by Muhammad bin Qasim, halting Islamic expansion into Rajasthan. Under his reign, Chittorgarh was fortified and established as a center of Rajput resistance and governance. He is associated with the legend of Eklingji, Lord Shiva, believed to have inspired his victories and devotion. Bappa Rawal's legacy includes uniting smaller kingdoms under Mewar and creating a cohesive Rajput identity. His reign marked the beginning of Mewar's prominence, which later rulers like Rana Kumbha and Maharana Pratap built upon. His military strategies and alliances with other kingdoms ensured the survival of indigenous traditions in early medieval India. Nagavatta I Nagavatta I was a ruler of the Gujjara Patihara dynasty during the early 8th century, based in Rajasthan and Gujarat. He successfully repelled Arab invaders, notably halting their expansion after the Battle of Rajasthan 738 CE. His defense against the Umayyad Caliphate preserved India's territorial integrity, particularly in western and central India. Nagavatta fortified key regions and encouraged temple construction, symbolizing resistance and revival of Hindu traditions. His reign strengthened the Gujjara Patihara dynasty, establishing them as a dominant force in Indian history. He expanded his territory, incorporating parts of Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat, laying the foundation for future rulers. Nagavatta's achievements represent early Rajput defiance against external threats, inspiring later rulers like Prithviraj Chauhan and Rana Sanga. Prithviraj Chauhan Prithviraj III, 1166 to 1192 CE, also known as Rai Pithora, was the ruler of the Chauhan dynasty of Ajmer and Delhi. He defeated Muhammad Ghori in the First Battle of Tarain, 1191 CE, but lost the Second Battle of Tarain, 1192 CE, marking the beginning of Muslim rule in northern India. Known for his bravery, he is celebrated in the epic Prithviraj Raso, composed by Chand Bardai. Prithviraj unified several Rajput clans to resist the Ghurid forces but faced betrayal by some allies in his final battle. After being captured, he reportedly killed Ghori using his archery skills in captivity, as per folklore. His resistance symbolizes Rajput valor and is often regarded as the last great Hindu king of northern India. His legacy inspires countless tales of bravery and patriotism in the Indian history. Rana Kumbha Rana Kumbha 1433 to 1468 CE was one of the greatest rulers of Mewar, known for his architectural and military achievements. He constructed the Kumbhalgarh fort, one of the largest fort complexes in the world, with a 36-kilometer long wall. Kumbha defeated Sultan Mahmud Khalji of Malwa multiple times, securing Mewar's dominance in central India. A patron of art and culture, he supported Sanskrit literature and commissioned works like Kumbhalgarh Prasasti. His reign saw the construction of 84 fortresses, including Achalgarh and Chittorgarh, strengthening Mewar's defense. He encouraged temple building, combining Hindu and Jain architectural styles, influencing regional culture. Rana Kumbha's legacy as a warrior and builder cemented Mewar's position as a leading Rajput kingdom in history. Rana Sanga Rana Sanga 1484 to 1528 CE was the ruler of Mewar who united Rajput clans to resist foreign invasions. Known for his courage, he sustained over 80 wounds in battle and lost an eye, an arm, and a leg. He led the Rajput army in the Battle of Khanwa 1527 CE against Babur, but was defeated due to the latter's superior artillery. Rana Sanga forged alliances with Afghan chieftains to counter Babur's growing influence in India. Despite his loss, he remains as a symbol of Rajput pride and unity, inspiring later readers like Maharana Pratap. He also defended Mewar against neighboring sultanates, ensuring the survival of Rajput traditions. His efforts to build a pan Indian resistance against Babur mark him as one of the bravest Rajput rulers. Maharana Pratap Maharana Pratap 1540 to 1597 CE is one of the most iconic Rajput warriors known for resisting Mughal Emperor Akbar. He fought the Battle of Haldighati 1576 CE against Mughal forces led by Man Singh I but continued guerrilla warfare after the battle. Known for his loyalty to Mewar's independence, he refused to accept Akbar's suzerainty throughout his life. His legendary horse, Chetak, played a crucial role in his escape during Haldighati, symbolizing Rajput resilience. Maharana Pratap rebuilt his kingdom from the Aravalli Hills, reclaiming parts of Mewar, including Kumbhalgarh and Udaipur. He lived a life of hardship, eating wild grass, but never compromising on Rajput dignity. Today he is celebrated as a symbol of independence, valor, and patriotism in Indian history. Raja Man Singh I Raja Man Singh I, a Rajput general under Akbar, was instrumental in Mughal military campaigns. He led successful campaigns in Kabul, Bengal, and Orissa, expanding the Mughal Empire's influence. Known for his architectural contributions, he built the iconic Amber Fort, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. As a diplomat, he played a crucial role in Akbar's policy of Rajput integration, ensuring peace between Rajputs and Mughals. Despite serving the Mughals, he retained autonomy in his territory, balancing loyalty and independence. His leadership strengthened Rajput prestige within the Mughal Empire, earning him respect from both Rajputs and Mughals. Raja Man Singh's military and administrative skills mark him as one of the most capable Rajput leaders of his era. Rana Amar Singh II Rana Amar Singh II was the 34th ruler of Mewar and successor of Maharana Pratap. He negotiated peace treaty with the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, maintaining Mewar's dignity and partial autonomy. Despite challenges, he restored Mewa's strength by rebuilding fortresses like Chittorgarh and fortifying the kingdom's defenses. Rana Amar Singh too promoted local administration, supported temple construction, and preserved Mewar's cultural heritage. He upheld Rajput traditions of independence and self respect, inspiring his successors. His reign stabilized Mewar after years of warfare, enabling economic recovery and internal development. Rana Amar Singh II's leadership ensured the continuity of Mewar's legacy as a symbol of Rajput valor and resilience. Durga Das Rathore Durga Das Rathore, 1638 to 1718 CE, was a Rajput warrior and statesman from the Rathore clan of Marwar. He defended Marwar against Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb's attempts to annex the kingdom after Maharaja Jaswant Singh's death. Durga Das successfully protected the infant Ajit Singh, heir to the Marwar throne, and ensured his eventual restoration. He fought guerrilla wars against Aurangzeb's forces, preserving Rajput pride and autonomy during a time of crisis. Known for his unwavering loyalty to Marwar, he united Rajput clans to resist Mughal domination. His strategic brilliance in warfare and diplomacy ensured Marwar's survival as a Rajput state. Durga Das remains a symbol of Rajput courage and loyalty, celebrated in folk traditions and history. Maharaja Suraj Mal Maharaja Suraj Mal, 1707 to 1763 CE, was the founder of the Bharatpur kingdom and one of the most astute rulers of the 18th century. Known for his military acumen, he built the impregnable Lohargarh fort, which resisted multiple attacks by the British. Suraj Mal expanded his kingdom by defeating the Mughals and Marathas in battles and forming strategic alliances. He was known as the Plato of the Jat people for his administrative reforms and focus on justice and prosperity. Under his rule, Bharatpur became a prosperous kingdom known for its strong economy and robust defenses. He introduced taxation reforms, promoted agriculture, and built reservoirs for water and conservation. Suraj Mal's legacy as a warrior and statesman remains unmatched in the history of the Jat people. Conclusion: Rajput rulers from Bappa Rawal to Maharana Pratap symbolized valor, honor, and the defense of Indian traditions. Their resistance against invasions by Arabs, Turks, and Mughals safeguarded Indian cultural and religious heritage. Rajputs contributed to architecture, Chittorgarh Kumbhalgarh, literature, Prithviraj Raso, and temple art, leaving a lasting legacy. Despite setbacks in battles like Tarain and Khanwa, They continued to inspire resistance and unity in India. Figures like Durga Das Rathore and Maharaja Suraj Mal show their adaptability in political and military strategies. Their legacy remains relevant, inspiring patriotism and pride in Indian history and culture. The Rajputs stand as a testament to undying spirit of independence and resilience in the face of adversity. Thank you for your love and inspiration. In this video, we have got to know about the origin of the Rajputs, their contributions, governance structure, culture, and we have also done short documentaries on famous Rajput warriors like Prithviraj Chauhan, Maharana Pratap, and others. Hope you have enjoyed this video and please support me so that I can bring brighter contents in future. Thank you so much for your love and support.